So, just as Taylor said, we're going to be talking about how to show love to yourself, right? As an entrepreneur. Because we often get, we just keep going and going and producing and producing. And sometimes you get ran down. You have to recharge yourself, right? So, we want to show you 5 ways that you can show love to yourself as an entrepreneur. So, hi, everyone, and welcome to Tamlin and Taylor's Treat Talk Tuesday, where we share about treats, business, and life. Hi, I'm Tamala. I am owner of Torlitas for that sweet and crunchy taste. Torlitas is a dessert company located right here in this great state of Ohio, where I specialize in salty, sweet treats. If you want to know more about me and my business, go to IG. That's Instagram at Torlitas. That's T as in Tuesday, Orlitas.
Hey guys, I am Taylor, owner of Taylor's Kitchen, located right here in Albion, Michigan, where we make custom sweet treats for your special occasions. I can be found on all social media platforms at Sweet Spirit Treats.
Awesome sauce. So, just as Taylor said, we're going to be talking about how to show love to yourself, right? As an entrepreneur. Because we often get, we just keep going and going and producing and producing. And sometimes you get ran down. You have to recharge yourself, right? So, we want to show you 5 ways that you can show love to yourself as an entrepreneur. So, this is the month of love, so to speak. So don't forget to put you on the list. All right. So the first one will be, and I'll look at my notes here. The first one is definitely to take a break. All right. So I want to ask you, our audience, how do you take a break as an entrepreneur? Oh, wait. Are you still
Definitely drop it
thinking?
down in the comments.
Are they still thinking? Or they're like, oh, it was over a second ago because I don't take a break. Okay, maybe that could be you. But some examples of taking a break is maybe for an hour, get up and do some stretching for a few minutes. Go walk around the room for 4 or 5 times. Okay. It's important to breathe. Okay, take some breathing exercises for 15 minutes, right? Or how about this? Just clear your mind and not, well, I know sometimes your brain just race, with all the things that you have to do. But if you get into a routine of just clearing your mind and relaxing and just let everything that you want to push back sometimes come, recognize what those things are and say, okay, I will take care of you at such and such a day, at such and such a time, or I'm not carrying you. Okay. You can tell yourself, that's not for me to carry. You can give it to your higher power, God, whoever you pray to. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. But for me, I'm going to pray about it and I'm going to give it over. I said, I can't carry it. All right. God, you're going to have to do it for me. Okay. So that's one thing, or a few ways that you could take a break for yourself. Taylor, you want to include something on that?
Yeah, definitely. As you were speaking, one thing that came to mind was setting strategic time blocks. So, for instance, if you give yourself 3 hours to do something uh, for work, you can set a timer for an hour, and then after every hour, you can take 10 minutes to walk away, do something different. Um, and then you can come back, work for another hour, then take a 10-minute break. Before you know it, it won't seem like you just have to sit there and focus because some people could be I don't want to use the word addicted, but some people can very frequently check their emails, text messages, when they're supposed to be working. So if you give yourself an allotted amount of time, it's kind of like a reward, right? I know I got 3 hours. I need to complete this. I need to do these things in order to be successful. So I'm going to give myself an hour. Boom, set my timer. I'm in an hour. I know I got a 10-minute break. I'm going to scroll. I'm going to take a selfie. I'm going to do a post. I mean, like anything, that you have been rewarded with that 10-minute break. So that's one thing I was definitely thinking about as you were talking. Yes, we do need to take regular breaks. And it could be, we discussed in previous episodes, it can be taking a weekend off, especially if it's like your busy season, or if last year you just really missed all of the fun events. It is a time to give up events with your friends and family and just focus and work really hard. But you do have to have some time to be creative outside of your everyday work. And we know for us, we're treat makers. So bakers and treat makers often spend majority of their time working in their business and not on their business. So a break for you could be when you have Mondays off. You're setting up your website, you're setting up your automations, you're setting up different things so you can get a break from being in your business and work on your business. So those are some ways that I would recommend to take regular breaks and continue to refresh yourself.
Nice. I concur. Okay, number two, the second way to show love to yourself as an entrepreneur is to speak kindly to yourself. Yeah, that can be a toughie for a lot of people. I don't know. I think it's something called imposter syndrome, where you don't think that you're good enough. You don't think that people really love your product when they say they love your product. It could be, oh, the pricing, oh, I shouldn't charge that much. I don't know why you're not charging that much. It could be one thing that somebody says about your product and you're all out of whack. You're all doubting yourself. You're all um, just really being really hard on yourself. So if you think about what you would say to someone else, a fellow entrepreneur, you're always encouraging them. You have to turn those encouraging words on yourself. Either that's a mantra or something that what's the word I'm looking for?
A
Positive
recite.
affirmation. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. I was saying something you recite to yourself.
Yeah,
So you
recite
said
to yourself
affirmation.
a positive affirmation or something that really encourages you for your day. And sometimes we all need that encouragement. And sometimes it doesn't always have to come from someone else. What about you, Taylor?
I think those are very good points. I know one thing that I personally do is I set up systems for myself in order to be successful. I listened to a video last night and they were talking about things that millionaires do that average people just don't do. And one of the big things that they talked about is most of them wake up between like 4 and 5 a.m. And a lot of people would be like, man, to wake up at 4 or 5 a.m., what time do I got to go to sleep? How much do I got to have all these other things done? But the big thing is with waking up that time is to have some time to really focus on what you want to do, what your vision is for yourself, and just to have some time that's not bombarded by everybody else. I know personally for me, even though I homeschool my children, their alarm clock goes off at 7 in the morning, right? So if me and them are waking up at the same time, I don't have any time for myself in the morning. And so I'm like, at least I gotta wake up by, 6 o'clock. And then I know I have a call at 7 o'clock where I'm part of a book club and we read 10 pages together every day at 7 a.m. So just some things that you can do, um, like Tamala said, is to get those affirmations done, develop yourself a routine so that it can make it easier to speak kindly to others. Imagine if you woke up and you read your affirmations and maybe you pray or you meditate, and then you have something positive that you're putting into your mind, and now when somebody may come at you at work with a you didn't get this done or you didn't do blah 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 blah, you can be like, I had some time to myself this morning, and this is the message that I received, and I'm just not going to let you steal my joy. So things like that, it just makes it for a more um calming and peaceful day when you have some time to really just be yourself, to sit there and to just focus on speaking kindly to yourself.
Yeah, that is, you know, a such an important thing to do because I think that we kind of get you know, kind of get off kilter, I'll say, when things aren't adding up. Things ain't things ain't thinging. I
Yeah.
can say that. So, be an encouragement to yourself first. I think we'll end it right there. Number
Definitely.
3, journaling. Boy, if I went back and looked at some of my journal books, I used to journal a lot more than I do now. But if I went back and looked at those pages over the years, it's like,
Oh
one, what
no,
was I
Pamela.
thinking?
Yeah.
What was I thinking? And two was like, there were some things I had to get off my chest.
Yeah.
And the last thing is I have a lot of things that I wanted to do that I have not accomplished yet. So, and there's things that I have accomplished that I'm very proud of. Okay. So, journaling is a way to just let your mind and yourself, and sometimes it's called a free write. Back in the day, it was called a free write. And a free write is just whatever comes to your mind, just write it down. Just get it out of your system. You don't need to have it pent up. You can just say, one of the great things that happened to you that day or before the day. You can set your expectations, right? Set your expectations for that day. So it doesn't have to be at the end of the day. It can be at the beginning of the day or the day before. I'm going to set the intention for tomorrow. I'm going to write this down in my journal. So I know that you do a lot of journaling.
Yeah, I do. I do actually do a lot of journaling. I do have a app that I use, and I have some prompts, 3 prompts for at the beginning of the day, and then 3 prompts that I do at the end of the day. And I realized that journaling helps you to identify your patterns and your behaviors, um, and also like your thought process. So if you really want to see how much you have grown, or if you are in the same place that you were last year, just open up your journal and say, hey, I have mine are all like dated. So look at last year around this time, and I could be like, was I feeling the same way last year around this time? Or what was going well for me last year around this time? And just taking that couple of minutes to reflect, because you might see that it's a pattern in your life. And a lot of times we don't think about things as going in cycles or patterns because we're living them. But a lot of times, behavior that we have is just like recycled behavior. And so we may be getting older, but we may be doing the same things. So I think journaling really helps you to identify if you're in the same place that you were last year. So that is definitely one of the ways to help yourself as an entrepreneur, to show yourself some love and some self-care, is just by taking the time to reflect, because when we work at regular jobs, we often get an evaluation, right? It could be a yearly evaluation, it could be a quarterly evaluation. But when you are an entrepreneur, I don't know how often we really take the time to reflect and say, hey, it's been a couple of months since I implemented this new thing into my business. Like, is it really working for me, or should I let it go? So, yeah, that's definitely a good way to implement self care.
Hmm. And it's a good way to, also write some of your goals down and see, just like
Mhm.
if you did I re if you look back last year at this time, what was one of my goals, and have I at this point of the year, reached that goal. So that's good too.
Right.
All right. So Taylor, how do you celebrate your wins? We got to talk about it. How do you celebrate your wins?
I think this is something that I'm just really learning how to do effectively. So as far as celebrating my wins, I definitely acknowledge them because when we take the time to acknowledge things, that shows that it is of some kind of importance to us. So just one, acknowledging the things that we have accomplished, instead of saying things like, oh man, like I was so close to hitting my goals. Instead of saying it that way, we could maybe be like, wow, I'm way closer to the goal than I was last year, right? When we do the reflecting from our journal, it may be like, or we look at our numbers in our business, we could be like, wow, last month I sent out 3 email messages, and this month I sent out 5. I hit my target for um, my messaging or my ways of my posting schedule, right? So it's just I do those things to celebrate. Also, I have a couple accountability partners in my life.
Oh,
So I
good.
definitely share the wins with those people. And they take the time to acknowledge it with me, because who wants to just go through life and celebrate alone? It's pretty boring when you do it.
Right,
So you have
right.
some people that you can, trust, or or another system that I implemented is um, paying myself profit quarterly. And
Mm-hmm.
so part of the profit I can't spend on my business. So I can take that and I could use it towards self-care, or I can use it towards something that's personally for me. So that's another kind of system that I implemented to celebrate my wins.
Nice, 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 nice. I don't have anything to add to that because I think those are all great. Also, I love the part about the accountability partner, and I know that that is something that you have to, how can I say? It's not so much somebody that's in your immediate circle. It's someone that you can do, celebrate with outside your immediate circle. I think that is really a nice way that everybody can be encouraged. If you're not having a great month, the other person's having a great month, you can glean from them, like, oh, okay, what did you do? How did you do it? And all this other kind of stuff. Because we do look so much online for other people. We kind of reach out when someone is just right here, that that is your accountability purpose. I can't even talk today. Your accountability partner, and you can
Yes.
get that information right from them. And most time it's a sharing of a heart to heart and not a heart to pay, if you know what I mean. We know about that, right? Okay. The fifth, the fifth one is don't be afraid to seek help. We talked about getting the best bakers who makes macarons a couple videos back. If they make the best macarons and you don't have to make the best macarons, get them to make them and give them to your client. You can add that into your pricing structure. If you need somebody like accountability partner, hey, you're reaching out to them, say, hey, I saw that you made $1,000 on this a particular weekend. How did you do it? What were the things that you did to prepare, right? Things that help you. The scheduling, definitely schedule your time. We talked about in the previous video about making sure you make a calendar for your year, schedule your downtime and things like that. What are some of the other things, Taylor?
So one of the other things is definitely not falling into trap of thinking that you can do everything yourself. So like Tamla was saying, with the accountability partners, or even mentorship. a lot of people don't really grow in their business because they feel like they know it all. And a person who isn't teachable is just hard to grow in any area of life. And the people that you seek help from don't have to be um, someone that you really talk to every day. You can learn so much from books. You can learn so much from past seminars. You can learn so much on YouTube. Um, I have a goal this year um, to read at least 26 books. And so, as I listen to podcasts or as I listen to different messages, sometimes they recommend those books. And so, I know I'm going to be in the kitchen a lot. Audible is a very good friend and teacher of mine. So, yeah, don't be afraid to ask for help and just seek the knowledge that you need to really grow yourself personally, and then in turn, that'll help grow your business, your family, your relationships, your spirituality. All those things really tie in together because we're not just a one-dimensional person. So if you get help in any of those areas, it's my belief that it'll help all of those areas. So yeah, definitely. It may even be hiring an assistant, maybe hiring somebody to do your content. Um, we just need help. It's not good for people to be alone, especially in business. And so those are just a couple of areas that we can get help and we can continue to thrive and grow.
Yes. And it also helps with you with your downtime, right? So if you can get someone to clean your home, maybe, do your laundry, pick up the kids a couple of days a week, maybe if you're looking for a specific tool for your business or specific item that you want to use, hire somebody to find it for you. Okay. Because how many times have I gone on Google looking for something specific and I wind up watching rabbits hop over and play with dogs. I don't know.
So
it-
easily
it's
distracted as
it's a
people.
trap. It's a trap. But just that, have your groceries delivered to you instead of
Oh, that's
going
a
out and
big
get
one.
that's a big one. That's a big
You know
relief.
how much money you save by not walking around the grocery store and picking up five other things that you didn't
Yes.
need?
Yes.
Tom,
But I want
I
them to
heard
pick up
a
my
message,
torlitas at the end cap. I do. I do want them
right?
to pick up those
Amen.
at the end cap.
Uh, I heard a message that said, time isn't money. And when you're an entrepreneur, one thing that's very valuable is your time. And so if we can make the finances and we can trade some of those finances to get our time back, that would definitely save us. Imagine if you had somebody doing all of your social media posts. How much time would that save you? And then like at this point, you may say, well, I can't really afford to pay somebody to do all my social media. Well, maybe we can teach our children how to use the systems if they're old enough and we can pay them, right? Um, you're teaching them a skill, you're teaching them something that they can transition. They're going to be on the devices possibly anyway. So let's think of how we can work together as a family. And then when they get older, that skill may be transferable. They may start a marketing company. These small things are definitely going to be helpful in the future. And we might have a niece, a nephew, and they may be very great at these things. It might require a little bit of training, but just imagine if we could put our family on and pay them instead of paying the next person and still save some time, some effort, some energy. Um, I just think you'll be a better entrepreneur for doing that.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I'm glad we did this segment. I'm really excited about implementing some of the things, even for myself in my business as an entrepreneur, to show myself love in this in the month of February. So reach out to us. Let us know what you're going to do. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to be on our podcast, please hit us up on our IG at Treat Talk Tuesday. That's Treat Talk Tuesday on Instagram. All of our information is on there. If you want to shoot us an email or DM us, we would love to have you. Don't be shy. We started back in December of 2020, and we didn't know anything about podcasting. So if we could take the leap, you can take the leap and come on our show. Okay. So I'm Tamala, owner of Torlitas, for that sweet and crunchy taste. Um, I'm going to have Taylor have the last word.
Yes, definitely. This was a great segment, a great episode. We hope that you are falling more and more in love with the things that we do here on 5T Podcast as we are discussing treats, business, and life. We hope that you have a blessed week, and we will see you soon. Bye, guys.